Welcome back to Dice to Pixels. This is the best place on the internet to find the three of us. Tonight we're going to be talking about Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And some other stuff, but let's start there.
Yeah, so I picked up Baldur's Gate 3 we were up in the northern parts of Ontario there visiting family. The one reason why I bought it was I had read something that somebody had said they killed a woman, robbed her of her gold, and then brought her back to life, only to gaslight her into thinking that they were the heroes that actually saved her.
That sounds fun.
And I was like, oh, cool. I like that already. I'm sold.
I wonder how true
GTA.
it is.
Yeah, pretty much. So, we brought the Steam Deck with us, so I downloaded it. Eventually, I ended up buying a 1 terabyte card, micro SD card for the Steam Deck as well, because it's a chonky, man.
Yeah, because it's like 120 some gigs.
Yeah, it's big. It is big. So yeah, downloaded. It runs okay on the Steam Deck. It's all pretty much at medium settings, and the frame rate's kind of just at 30 and a bit over.
Which, if we're honest, is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty chunky game.
It gets fucking hot, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, does it get hot?
Oh, it was on fire when I was playing Stray as well.
Yeah.
But it kept going.
Yep.
But it was like the fan was howling. It was like...
So, to the worry of
cutscenes,
there is quite a few of them.
Yeah.
But I find that they remind me more of conversations in like BioWare games like Mass Effect or Knights of the Old Republic, that kind of thing where you have like options, like conversations, options, and all that stuff. I've gotten to my one thing right now, and this is 100% true. I would much rather play this on RPC at home, but unfortunately, it doesn't have the guts to run it.
Yeah.
I hate the controls on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, that was the thing I wondered about most when I saw people talking about it being played on the Steam Deck. I was like, it's a keyboard and mouse game.
Yeah.
How well is that going to work? And the answer is apparently it works
for movement. Yeah, like for movement and for camera orientation stuff, like using the twin sticks is fine when moving around and all that stuff. But yeah, like there was so many times. A lot of RPGs I played growing up, the top button, which is Y on the Steam Deck, it's usually used to like enter menu. Any Square Enix RPG, you press that and you're entering a menu or whatever to, equipment, that kind of stuff. But for this, it ends your turn. And it's because it's imprinted in my head so much that, okay, I need to open this up to see what my bonus actions and all this stuff are. I'm always ending my turn and it's screwing me up.
So you might be able to make it a little bit better with like a custom mapping.
Yeah, I can probably. Yeah. I haven't tried yet.
Yeah. I bet you're not the only one that has that problem.
Yeah. But it's been a fun experience. There are dice rolls. There was a few where I don't want to spoil too much, but I had to make a wisdom check against somebody else, and they give you the target, and then they show your modifiers, and then this D20 appears and it rolls. And I've also heard that that's been kind of screwing over a lot of people because I guess the rolls tend to all be kind of shit.
Well, I think that's confirmation bias. Like I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here that they used a proper random number generator. I'm sure it's fair, but that doesn't mean it's like...
Give it another month or so, someone will have kept track of all of their rolls.
Oh, 100%.
And there'll be an article about it, and we'll be talking about it then, probably.
There's already a Reddit thread, I guarantee.
Oh, probably.
There is an article on it, too, actually. There's one on Kotaku.
So... yeah, I'm sure it's fair, but I've seen the same thing. People talking about like, I'm getting fucked. I mean, this is where having a proper DM is kind of an important part of the D&D story.
Yeah, because it allows for nuance.
Yeah, it's one of those like, as a and my understanding is that they've tried to do this to some degree in Baldur's Gate. I have not played it. So far I'm holding true to my sort of pledge not to play it because of the cutscenes.
And I mean, if you really wanted to play it, you could just use our. We shared our Steam library. I think
we did. It honestly, if I decide I'm gonna play it, I'll buy it. Like they did a lot of work. I don't have a problem giving them money. It's just I don't like supporting that much cut scenery. And so if you're new and you haven't watched previous episodes, we talked a handful of weeks ago. Sarah found an article talking about the fact that there was like, what, 120 some hours?
174. I looked it up again.
174 hours of cutscenes in the game. And I said, like, fuck that. That's going to be a nonsense game. I'm not going to play it. And I felt pretty vindicated when the first day that it was out, I saw multiple people on Twitter/X saying, you know, oh, I had this cool experience with this squirrel. And they like posted this cutscene about a squirrel. And I'm like, yep, bullshit, called it. I had a very different reaction to that than most people, it seems. But so I have not had any particular desire to play it. But I do understand from what I have seen that they did try to make it so that only the interesting decisions are rolled for and not sort of everything. But you still kind of need that human on the other end to say, like, you know what? You're fucking amazing at everything and you've been doing great all session. I'm not going to give you the chance of failure, right? Like, you win.
Or also, fuck you, you need to fail every once in a while.
Also, yes, right? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. I salute them for what they've done in terms of bringing the D&D mechanics to a video game in a much better way than DDO does and everything else. Baldur's Gate has always done that well. Yep. I can't do the cutscenes. Yeah, I can't fucking do the cutscenes.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm having a decent time with it right now. I just wish I could experience it in its full glory. But I mean, the Steam Deck is like good. It's running it fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. So.
You'll just have to come over some evening and we'll install it on my gaming PC and we can hang out and you can play it.
And then Sarah's at home by herself for the next 2 to 3 months.
Oh, I see. Because I guarantee my gaming PC will run it.
Yeah, 100%.
Goddamn better.
It's our graph. So I did a requirements check on our PC. It's our graphics card.
Oh, of course.
Like, but it's a
it's a pretty old one. We actually still need to check if the other graphics card that I've got here will work. We got to check that at some point, but. Anyways, not urgent.
No. And it's going to be available. So the PS5 version isn't coming out until September. And then also the Mac version is also not coming out until September as well.
I assume you're going to have to actually, for Steam, presumably you'll be able to just get the Mac version.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they have a Mac version. Yeah. So there is a Mac version of it.
Okay. So you'll be able to play it because the M2 will run it for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, my harping about the controls aside, I just have to put a mental note in my head. It's like when you press start, you know, and normally when you press start, that would in an open world RPG would bring up your map and your inventory and all that crap. This just opens up like the game options, like the save, load, all that stuff.
Oh,
you actually have to hold the right trigger. And then that brings up like a radio wheel that shows equipment, all that other long rest, short rest, that kind of stuff.
Not surprising given what they're working with.
Yeah. But like, so when I was playing, I got into one part where I triggered a trap and then I went into like a turn-based mode to kind of escape it. And I didn't know how to get out of it.
Okay.
Like I kept going through this dungeon, but I kept going in turn-based mode. And I'm like,
so
okay, well, like
years.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you can turn it off. Like you can turn it on and off. Again, I didn't realize this until I found that radio wheel and like, they have a free mode and a turn-based mode, and you just toggle that. And so that kind of was annoying me until I realized how much of an idiot I was and just didn't use my freaking 4 eyes that I have. So
yeah. Incidentally, I think if I were to get it, I would probably only play it on the Steam Deck because I don't know. I feel like that's the only way I would enjoy it.
I've been finding I've been using the Steam Deck a lot more for games too.
Yeah.
It's I mean, a lot of it, not all of the games that I have and want to play are like really playable easily on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Like they're playable, but the controls are all funky.
She's been playing Orc Massage.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But so the PC's been a lot more neglected, but
Yeah, I like there's games that you can only play on a PC, like as
Mhm.
much as they exist, like Kerbal Space Program, for
Yeah.
instance. I'm never going to play that on Steam Deck or any console
Mhm.
because building the rockets in and of itself is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Baldur's Gate, because it's like, I feel like the only way I would do a cutscene heavy game like that is on a mobile device that I can just easily ignore it,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because that's the only way I could get through that many cutscenes would be just fucking ignore everything they're saying and just and that's way easier to do if you're holding, if it's just a handheld and just like okay, whatever.
Mhm.
So I did briefly consider trying it on the Steam Deck when people said it was running well, but it sounds like it's running like well enough,
Yeah.
and I wasn't that excited about it to begin with. So I think this is one that I'm going to give a pass. I'll pick it up someday when it's like $15, but
Yeah.
I think Baldur's Gate 3 is a pass for me, but I'm glad you got it and tried it and are generally enjoying it, partly because I was kind of hoping one of us would.
Yeah. Like I said, it just reminded me of BioWare games, really. Like BioWare RPGs, just with the talking and the conversations and the dialogue choices and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The combat's like vastly different. It's more strategic and
Well, the combat is the one thing that I actually think I would really enjoy
Mhm.
because it's very strategic and turn-based and whatever.
Yeah. So, yep. I will keep everyone updated as to my progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
in terms of the actual game in itself, do you think the fact that you've played D&D and have some history with it now makes a difference in terms of wanting to play, like the desire to play it? And
I played the other two.
did you? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it was like
Does
at
it
the time.
feel different now, though?
I think it's different than the first two, like by a fair bit.
Well, not just in terms of gameplay and storytelling,
Just-
but like your appreciation for the world.
Actually, yeah, it is kind of funny because whenever I'd see little bits of like lore based around like Baldur's Gate, like the river Chianthar, every time I see Chianthar, I just hear Devin in my head saying Chianthar, you know, and just little references to Baldur's Gate and all that stuff just from playing Avernus. You fight some of Zariel's demons. And I'm instantly like, ooh.
I think I've still got one of those Beetle and Grimm buttons somewhere.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
all took one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should wear that while you're playing it.
Yeah. What character did you make?
Oh, I made Klurock my
Nice.
blue. Well, I couldn't make him a sapphire dragonborn, but he's a blue.
What?
Yeah, he's a blue dragonborn.
After all the bullshit I saw on Twitter about everybody like fucking wetting themselves over the character creator and how you could do anything and it was great. You can't even make a blue goddamn dragon.
They don't.
Ugh.
Well, you can make a blue. They don't have
But not sapphire.
Gem
they don't
dragons.
have the gem dragons from. And I actually don't think. Yeah, they do have. I think they do have the chromatic. I can't remember, but yeah. So instead of a thunder breath, I have a lightning breath.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah. But
Delete
he's still a barbaron. He's still my barbarian.
Yeah.
It's just
Mhm.
I don't think he'll be as tanky as
That's good.
And he doesn't have a dwarf and a baby.
Yeah, I
Bjorn.
don't have an elderly dwarf that I got to carry around in a backpack. So
I don't want to be up here.
shut up, old man. Duck your head.
So vaguely on the topic of, well, really on the topic of Dungeons and Dragons,
Yep.
not so much Baldur's Gate 3. Fablecraft, that Kickstarter that I backed
Yes.
ages ago.
Yes.
They were supposed to release the Pledge Manager today. Apparently they had some technical difficulties. It's coming like early next week. But hopefully we will finally have access to the beta or whatever of it very soon. And we can give that a go and see what it's like. So for anyone who doesn't know, again, haven't watched previous episodes, Fablecraft is one of the new virtual only, I would say virtual first, but it really is a virtual only tabletop RPG. So it's a new set of rules. It's not just like Roll20 for Dungeons and Dragons. They've made their own system. Excited to give it a shot and see what it's like. And we'll be doing a campaign of that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll probably film it because Should be easy enough to film.
Hell yeah.
And we'll see what it's like. So you might see something about that on the channel in the near future, or possibly not, depending on if they get the pledge manager figured out. But yeah, that's getting close. So that's something that I am looking forward to trying, because I really do wonder if, because remote D&D is, but if you like really focus on that, I feel like it can be done well. So I'll be interested to see how they've done.
I'm going to smush those two topics together with Clue Rock and long distance D&D.
Long distance relationship with Clue Rock.
I don't know anybody named long distance D&D.
So when we were up north, we were visiting family up there, and I got my 2 nephews and our niece addicted to D&D.
Yes,
because it was their first time.
As it should be.
Yep. So that was fun. One of them actually made a blue dragon because Uncle Chad had one.
Of course.
Oh, is that why you made one?
Yeah.
Oh. What a nerd.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Fucking
but
copycat.
But they played for like 4 hours the first night, and eventually it was just like, guys, we got to stop. I'm so tired right now.
They're upstairs playing D&D, and me and my brother are downstairs playing Mario Golf.
That's the way.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only game I'll take over D&D.
Hell yeah.
But and then we finished. It was just a one shot for 2 players that I'd had sitting around forever. So they went through that, and they had a really good time, and then they wanted to play more, and I'm like, I can't throw anything together for 2 people that fast, and you guys are still learning everything. So
yeah, with inexperienced players, it's especially hard to try and add
I think ideally, if I was to ever do that again for brand new players that's never even like watched anyone play, I'd love to have either like someone like Chad or you or my sister or someone there to like help facilitate and like guide, because like they'd walk into a room and like they would want to look at things, which is fine, but they didn't like use all of their abilities all of the time. So
it helps to have somebody in the party that knows they can like nudge them instead of having to do it as the DM.
Exactly.
I'd catch bits and pieces of it from
no, I like bitches and pieces.
I get some bitches and pieces.
So like I'd hear, like they walk in the room and there's like, oh well, I'm gonna go and smash something, and I'd be downstairs like, perception check, intelligence. What?
What's that noise? Sky voice?
What did Uncle Chad say?
Well, the number of times they would just like, you knew that they didn't think of it at all, but like eventually there came a point where they'd found a secret door, and behind the secret door there was like 4 other doors, but all of them were trapped. And one of them was actually a fake door leading to a spike pit, and they didn't know to do perception checks to check for traps or anything like that. So
now they do.
They do now, because
That's how you D&D, man.
Well, you were even saying about how like they had like a video game mentality.
Exactly, yeah. Like when they got into the town, they immediately were like, oh, well, let's go to the general goods store, or it was the blacksmith they wanted to go to upgrade their gear, and so they went in, and I was just like, well, as the guy, I was just like, well, I only have weapons here, and they're just basic weapons. So
what, he doesn't sell Excalibur?
Right.
That's something like with newer characters and some experienced players that have just never really like had a DM that will kind of push the limits with them a little bit. You'll get somebody coming into a town and they'll be like, oh, how much would it cost for like full play? It's like, well, it'll cost, whatever, 1,000 gold or whatever it is, and it'll take 6 months. Yeah. Like, what do you? I don't stock this. Like, it's a custom fabrication. What do you want me to do here?
Yeah.
You're a dwarf. I don't. Even if you weren't a dwarf, I wouldn't carry it. But I definitely don't carry dwarven full plate. Like, what the fuck? And that's something that will take some people off. They're just like, oh wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not Walmart, guys.
And it's especially like if it's magical stuff, well then it'll fit you, but you're also going to pay 5 times as much.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
I'd love to see like a D&D Walmart.
Yes. Can you tell me where the small caps are for tieflings?
Wilt Quaddle's Emporium, I had it in a game. Wilt Quaddle was one of my favorite shopkeeps, and he just had random shit. He even had like, you know how some stores or restaurants will do like roll a die to like get a shot or get a dessert or whatever.
Mhm.
He had that for just items. It was just roll a die and you'll get an item, and it could be like a shitty potion or it could be like a fucking airship.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was.
That's the best. You need
Yeah.
to do that in our games.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, Wilt's there. You guys just haven't found him yet.
Okay.
Wilt is in every game every campaign, every world, everything I ever produce has a Wilt somewhere.
Is he transdimensional too?
Yeah, he is.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yeah. You don't need to know that as the player because it doesn't
No.
really come up. But yes, it is the same Wilt in every game.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And there's actually a little bit of a back door there where if you ever wanted to move an item between my two games, theoretically, if you give it to Wilt, you could. You'd have to convince him not to sell it in the meantime, though. So on the note of D&D, I was gonna talk about this a little bit later, but as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I am no longer employed in a day job, and so I've been doing some wood shop stuff, and I am going to be selling soon, TM sometime. We are going to be making, so this one, let's see if I can, you can kind of see the figuring on the maple a little bit. It's a little too bright in here, but
The chatoyancy.
the chatoyancy, yeah. So this is a really big tray. This is probably bigger than I will make for dice trays, but I whipped this together today. So I'm going to be making dice trays, rolling trays, probably some EDC stuff as well. This is the one that I made for Chad back in the day. So so this one's not as nice. It doesn't have like mitered edges.
But I think it's nice. Okay.
It's the nicest thing ever. But it's got you can't really see it on camera. There's not enough resolution, but it's got really thin veneer lines here, and so I'll be doing some like that as well. I'll be doing a bunch of different dice and gaming accessories. And in theory, they will be available under the Dice 2 Pixels banner, probably with some sort of a logo on them. I'll figure that out at some point, probably laser cut. And as soon as I figure out, Canada will come fairly soon because it's pretty straightforward. I just create a Shopify store and rock on. I don't know how international shipping and everything works, and not shipping, but like customs and stuff. I don't know how any of that works. So it'll be a while before I can send them to the States. But theoretically, within the next few weeks, I should be able to start selling them in Canada. So if anybody's looking for a dice tray, especially in Canada, because shipping to Wormwood products is a fucking nightmare. These are very similar in a lot of ways. So mitered edges, the construction is similar, quality is comparable. I would argue better. Wormwood has kind of gone downhill a little bit lately.
I know the guy that made it, so
I can vouch for him. So those will be available soon if anybody's looking for them. Let me know in the comments or otherwise if there's something in that neighborhood that you're interested in me building, because obviously I'm still looking for product ideas. So, but we'll be selling those soon.
Yeah, and I mean like that dice tray. I've had several, but when you gave me that one, that became my go-to for anything I played.
Yeah, and for the record, this one is the one that I was going to throw out because I figured this was scrap, and Chad was like, "I want it." So
it's my birthday.
So my bar for quality is fairly high. I was going to throw this out, and Chad said it looked great. So.
I loved it. I still do. It looks great. I think it's fantastic.
But this one the new one looks way better. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
I'm much happier with that one.
It's my birthday.
Oh, don't worry. We'll all be getting, the three of us will be getting fully custom pimped out versions that are one of three versions. But I want to do something Dice to Pixels. I'll probably there'll be lots available that don't have any logoing on them because I know Dice to Pixels is not exactly like a gangbusters brand. But I do want to make some logoed versions for people who really want to rep the channel.
I mean,
and our logo
even
kicks
if you
ass
just
anyway.
stick it on the bottom.
I will probably put something on the bottom of all of them for just so that you can actually
Maker's mark.
Yeah, exactly. Where'd you get that? Okay, well, here. But I'll probably make some where it's more prominent for people who want to rep the channels.
And we got a kick-ass logo anyway.
Yeah.
I do like our logo.
Our logo is awesome.
Yeah. Fiverr.com, man.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing what a weekend in Columbus can do.
Yeah. That's right. So that's that. I'm making stuff. By all means, reach out on Discord, in the comments, whatever. I now have a wood shop pretty much up and running. I was able to make that in just a few hours, and I'm going to be making a bunch more of stuff like that. So hit me up, and if you want to suggest anything or ask more questions, and I'll keep people posted. Hopefully 2 or 3 weeks we'll be able to sell them.
Yeah.
And can confirm that the smaller one for sure has that wonderful dice rolling click with the wood.
Yeah, I haven't rolled. Give me those dice. I have not rolled it because, like I said, I just built this today. So I mean, I literally was finishing it when you guys walked up. So let's see how you won't be able to probably hear.
Well,
this,
that's mine.
No, I'm gonna.
Oh,
that's pretty satisfying.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a good noise. Yeah,
that's nice.
We'll
have to just put a mic on the dice tray.
Here, you take that over there, and then Sarah can roll.
That didn't go well either. It's too big.
It is. No, it is. This is actually a full 10 inches wide. Yeah. I guess 10-inch square. This is more like an EDC tray size. But I'll make the dice trays a little smaller because you want that click off the edge.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard a woman say it's too big.
That's right. But so anyways, that's coming up. We won't dwell on that too long because I don't want this to be one long ad or anything. But and you can't buy them right now anyways. Yep. So what was next on our list? There was a few things.
Well, I actually want to jump to, because I think this one's a big deal. For those of you that know, Sarah and I are really big into GTA RP.
Let's come back to that in 1 second, because I want to talk about that too. But actually, just real quick, we won't really talk much about it. But if you don't know, Wizards updated the Warlock stuff.
Yes.
There's a playtest result just on the D&D front. I almost forgot about it. They have completely revamped how the Warlock class. They sort of rolled it back to more like the original 5th edition was. So if you are interested in playing a Warlock in D&D 1 or 1D&D, check it out. We won't spend a lot of time going through the details, but it basically they had changed a whole bunch of shit, and they're basically unwinding most of that
because
back to
people did not like it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, 5M.
Yeah. So 5M, GTA RP, 5M and Red M, which are all a subsidiary or just the servers for CFX dot something. I can't remember, CE, I think.
Yeah.
Rockstar's bought them.
Yeah.
Or they are in cahoots coming together, which is, I don't know how I feel about it, because the whole RP world lended itself to a lot of customization of like a lot of assets in GTA and Red Dead Redemption. Wild RP is insanely fun to watch.
That's on Red M, and it's Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah. And GTA 5 is on 5M. There's tons of 5M servers. No Pixel was one. Ignite was another one that was pretty hot for a while. But yeah, I'm curious to see what will come from this.
Mm-hmm.
Is GTA 6, coming around the corner?
Yeah, well, so I'm just doing a little bit of reading because this is actually the first I was hearing about it. Well, technically you mentioned it earlier, but they're working with, they didn't absorb them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Insofar as, like, they said they're officially part of Rockstar Games, and I think that's kind of true. But from what I'm reading in the more details, it doesn't sound like they're absorbing them so much as they're just like, instead of banning you and being dicks, we're going to
work with you.
Yeah, like you guys are going to now be, in addition to what you're doing, you're going to also have first party access to offer like proper integrations for mods and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
So if that's true, if based on what I'm reading here is in fact true, it sounds like basically, yes, GTA 6 will have first party 5M support, and also other modders will be able to take advantage of the same sort of tool sets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how this is going to translate to just the normal gamer, not necessarily a streamer or an RPer, but I mean, if there's like take the GTA Online kind of architecture, if you could play something like that where you don't have to worry about getting on a server or like being whitelisted or paying for prio or that kind of thing, and you can just like get on something in RP.
Well, if
which
I
I'm sure you can, but
yeah, if I had to guess, it'll be easier to set that sort of thing up.
Mhm.
But more to the point, I think the big difference here, if this all sort of shakes out the way people are kind of hoping it will, this would mean that you can actually mod GTA Online instead of like officially,
Mm-hmm.
instead of having to like do like 5M is such a pain in the credit where due. It's an amazing piece of software based on the restrictions that they had and sort of working out in the cold, not having any support from Rockstar at all previously. If they actually bring that in house and like make that officially available, the ability to mod sort of the online experience and multiplayer experience will be not just for them, for everybody. Like, oh, you want to make Penguins GTA 6? You can do it.
Yep.
So I think you'll probably see some really interesting stuff on that front. You can make a full zoo in GTA 6 and RP farm animals. There'll be a selection of people that will be thrilled about that.
Probably try it.
I could be a furry for a day. So that could be really cool. That it does sound like they are merging to an extent, but it sounds like they're mostly bringing them on as first party. They will have first party access to all of the code and everything.
Yeah.
So they will be able to actually offer meaningful hooks.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it in a lot of Discord chats for some of the streamers that we've watched. They're kind of on the fence about it. So I'm hoping that it doesn't screw them over. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But and I know there's a lot of really talented devs that have been doing work for a lot of these servers. Some of which I follow on Twitch. And that's the other thing is like, well, are they going to be taking all of this out of the devs' hands, or are they still going to have like the ability to customize their servers to how they want?
So based on what they're saying, they are doing this with the specific intention of increasing the amount of freedom that devs will have.
That's good.
However,
there will be limitations, of course.
And here's where the problem comes in, and we've experienced this in the past.
It's Rockstar and their dicks.
I don't think so. Not that Rockstar aren't dicks. Sometimes Rockstar are dicks, but the thing is, you'll get a company that buys something or otherwise with the best of intentions. In this case, Rockstar absorbs 5M somehow, like CFERX or whatever it is, CREFX. They do this with the best of intentions, but Rockstar has a team of 150 lawyers on their staff. These guys had 0.
Yeah.
So when you run into something that's maybe a little bit gray area, maybe it infringes on somebody else's trademark, patent, whatever. Maybe it's, well, we can't just use this open source license stuff because then we have to include certain things and we have to pay extra attention. And if you're doing it on your own and you're not really selling the software, which they didn't, it was always free, none of that matters. You just give it away. It's fine. Once you include it in an official GTA 6, then that starts to cause problems. And so you can wind up in a situation where a company does something with the best of intentions and ends up fucking it up anyways. Yeah. There are ways to not do that, and hopefully they take that path. Hopefully they've thought this through. But if they fuck it up, I don't think it will be malice. I think it will be incompetence. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is in no short supply. So we'll see what happens. I think it'll be cool because regardless of anything, hopefully it doesn't destroy 5M. Yeah. Although, given what they've done in the past, I'm sure that if it does, they'll just splinter off and do it again. Yeah. But hopefully what it does is make a lot more mod options for GTA 6 because fully moddable GTA 6 would be the new Skyrim. It would be 100%. 20 years from now, people will still be playing GTA 6.
Well, even GTA 5, and honestly, watching Wild RP, like holy crap, the graphics in like I'm like shocked by that stuff. That looks
that's
so
all.
good.
That's all stuff they've done with no support whatsoever.
Mhm.
So you can only imagine what they could do if they actually have proper support for that stuff. So.
Yeah. That's
I mean, that's why Skyrim is what it is. It's not because Skyrim, the base game, is like crazy good. I mean, it is a good game, but that's not why it's
not visually amazing.
It's because the modding, like they specifically, Bethesda allowed for modding in Skyrim, and people just took that and fucking ran with it. So if Rockstar does the same with GTA 6, and that's probably what they're thinking, is they're like, people are still fucking playing Skyrim. We have an open world game. Why aren't they playing GTA 6 or 5 or whatever? And the answer is, well, you don't allow mods, you dumb fucks.
Yeah.
And so hopefully this is them fixing that. But.
Can't wait to run into Macho Man Randy Savage in GTA or Wild RP.
Right? But yeah, that's exciting. That potentially very exciting.
Yeah.
Or they could fuck it up.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Sarah, what's this about Dark and Darker?
So there's some player backlash right now because the developers have decided, it's still off Steam right now for one, but you can download the game through their forums, but they have decided to do microtransactions to buy character classes. Now, it's not entirely clear to me because I've not played the game at all, and none of the articles that I really read was super clear on it, if there's like base classes you get and these are just additional classes. But either way, this game is still in early access and they want $10 a class.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of looking when we were talking about this earlier. It does look, I think there are a couple of base classes, but I also saw the words play to win thrown around a lot. So I'm guessing it's like, you
versions.
Could play with the base class, but you won't.
And like it's like in-game currency. So you're buying the currency. You can earn the currency in-game as well. But the drop rate is just apparently abysmal.
Yeah, I also saw that mentioned on a couple of occasions. Like, theoretically, you can farm this. Practically.
No.
Yeah, so that's super shitty. I mean, we talked about it and you know, always the devil's advocate. I was like, well, they're not the only ones that have done that.
No.
But they kind of are. Like, the example that I gave was Diablo, where like the Necromancer class, but that came with an update and some other stuff.
And it was years after the release of the base game.
That I think is the big one, So yeah, this is pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Like, not unprecedented though. Star Citizen, basically the same thing. You had to buy your spacecraft, and every spacecraft cost substantial amounts of money.
Jesus.
The game, I think with Star Citizen, if I remember correctly, the game itself is technically free to play, but you can't really play it without a starship, and you have to buy a starship. And then you have to buy insurance on your starship or buy a new starship when it gets destroyed. And
I hate that.
It's an interesting way to go. They made so much money though.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was the last time I looked, but it's like, for anyone who doesn't know what the game, they're like, oh yeah, like how much did they make? And you're like, you don't want to know.
An obscene amount, I'm assuming.
Well, I want to make sure I get the number of digits right. Let's
oh
put
my
it that
God.
way. Let's see. Do they still have, at one point I feel like they took down because it was getting so fucking outrageous. I'm just going to see if I can pull this up. It was years ago. It was like well over $50 million. I'm pretty sure it's well over 100 million these days. But I also think they took down the counter because it was one of those like, come on now. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So like the standard starter pack, for instance, I'm just on their website right now, the Aurora MR starter pack. So it comes with a basic ship and 3 months worth of insurance. So if you break the ship, you get a new one, 45 USD.
Ooh.
And
so in a lot of ways, you're still paying for the game.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting approach, and there are people that love it. And it was one of those things where it started as it was their option, it was their alternative to kickstarting in a way, where it was like, you know, you can pre-order a ship. Yeah. And there were limited edition ships that you could like buy, and some of them were like $1,000 plus. and that was to help fund the game. But then my buddy Aaron and I were talking about it ages ago, and we both kind of decided that they had kind of fallen into this trap of like gamifying just the art of getting money, because they were at a level of funding where it just didn't, they couldn't possibly need more money, but they were still doing things to get more money. And it's like, I almost feel like they've almost stopped developing the game and just developing a way to suck money out of people. But with that said, like, I mean, I don't know if it's still in beta. Like, it's one of these games that it started out, you could just fly your ship around. And then it was like, okay, well, now you can like go to your hangar, and then you can like go inside your ship, and then you can like see other ships, and then you can dogfight, and then you can go to a planet. And their end goal is like super lofty and really interesting. It's like No Man's Sky, but done like everything you would hope that No Man's Sky could be. This was going to be it.
Plus EVE Online, it sounds
Plus EVE Online, yeah. But like my understanding is, yeah, it's still in alpha. It's alpha 3.19.1.
Jesus.
Like it is not a finished game by any means. And they've made just so much money.
Can you hire other players to be like your crew?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, well, see, I would play it that way, and then everyone gets together and buys a ship.
Well,
or
so
something.
the cool thing that you could do, and this was one of the reasons that people were like, oh my fucking god! But now Star Citizen or Sky, I'm done. I'm going home. Now No Man's Sky has this. They from the get go were like, if you buy like a freighter,
yeah,
your friends can all like dock their ships in your freighter, and then like man guns, and you can all like go and explore together, and like that's honestly super
that's
cool.
really cool.
And it is legitimately super cool. And it's not like No Man's Sky where it's like it's the freighter is really a planet, but it's like a special planet. This is like no, it's this is your ship, and you can just be in the ship, and it's all fine. So they accomplished their top level funding goal of $65 million a long time ago. I don't actually see a current ticker for what it's at, but it's a lot.
Damn.
It's
Wow.
like, oh, here you go. Funds earned $598 million, 800.
Oh my god.
Can we get a sponsorship, maybe?
Jeez.
We
Yeah.
could just RP in there all the time, fly around in space. I'll play that game. I don't care.
$500 million this game has made, and it's in
Good.
alpha.
Good god.
Jesus.
So we're talking about microtransactions.
Yeah.
Those aren't micro. Those are macro.
No, oh yeah, no, they're crazy. This is a game that I've always wanted to play, and actually now that I'm unemployed, other than the fact that I can't afford it, no, I can't. I actually might, because one of the things about this was, if I was gonna pay like $100 to get into the game, I was like, I goddamn well better be able to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, maybe I'll get into this a little bit now, because I've always been super curious.
Yeah.
And I have the time, sort of. I mean, actually, I have less time now than when I was
Yes.
employed. But
Well, and it's something that's up your alley too. So.
it's very much up my alley. So yeah, maybe by next week I'll be able to tell you about my adventures.
cool.
I'll have to check what they're actually up to, like what you can actually do,
Mhm.
because I don't know how complete the game is. I know it's still in alpha, but I don't know how far along it is. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll check it out. Anyways, that for microtransactions, they're the worst offenders ever. So Dark and Darker,
Yeah.
they don't even count by comparison.
Yeah.
Nope.
But it is still super shitty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couple quick things I want to just mention here. One, for anybody that knows, Lance Reddick passed away a couple months back. He was the voice of Zavala from Destiny, and he did some other work in Horizon Zero Dawn as Silas. Bungie announced yesterday that Keith David will be taking over the role of Zavala in with the next Destiny 2 expansion called The Final Shape. I like this choice. Keith David is amazing. Anything he's done is gold. In Saints Row, he voiced Spawn in the animated Spawn series. He was Goliath in Gargoyles, and a ton of other stuff. He was I can't remember his name, but he was the one admiral in the Mass Effect series. So yeah, I like this. This is really good. He's got that voice that's just, fuck man, this guy could sell me anything.
Yeah, he's got, just like Lance Reddick, he does have a very distinctive voice, so it will... I'm just kind of surprised that they decided to keep Zavala. I would have given a new character.
Yeah, I didn't know how they were going to handle it either. Zavala's pretty well established in the Destiny like lore and stuff, so I remember the uproar that happened when I can't think of his name, but he did the voice for Cade and then left.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about though, right?
Firefly.
Firefly. He was
the captain in Firefly.
Castle, right? Same guy?
Yeah.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of his name.
Yeah, how the hell can we not come up with that?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion.
Yes. There we go. Like it starts with an N. I know that much right now.
So like it's even in Big Mouth. He has like a whole thing.
He's actually returning. Nathan Fillion's returning to Destiny 2 in the final shape as the voice of Cade 6, so that's interesting.
It must be like a flashback or something.
Well, we'll see. So I just wanted to bring that up, and also this was just announced, but there was a book, a comic series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, which was about one of the surviving 4 Ninja Turtles going on basically a revenge spree in New York City to avenge their deaths. They're making a game. No, I don't. I'm not saying who it is. There's they're making a game. THQ Nordic Digital gave a teaser trailer. Fortunately, didn't show any gameplay, but it's in development, and they've said it's going to probably be something along the lines of like the God of War series, where it's like an action kind of hack and slash RPG. So that's interesting to keep an eye on.
You will be playing that because that ticks 2 of your boxes off at once.
It sure does. Anyway, that's me.
Cool. Did we have anything else on the list?
I mean, there's Overwatch 2 being reviewed beyond all the hell on Steam.
Yeah. I mean, people are dumb.
Yes, they
are.
Or
no, based on what you told me, people are dumb.
Some of them are like critiques of just how players weren't given what they were promised with the initial release of Overwatch 2. Other ones are just absolutely fucking useless dribble but like it's overwhelmingly negative. Is the reviews of, and there's 57,000 reviews right now.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
Yeah. That's a couple.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they deserve it, but also I don't care about that sort of thing. I mean, I do in that I'm a fan of not just like laying down and taking it when a company's dicks. So like I encourage, like I'm all for people like fighting back in whatever way they have the ability to. But also as somebody from the outside that doesn't play the game and everything, I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, I'd be curious to know if there's like what the actual specific reason that it flashpointed was, but I suspect the answer is somebody popular on Twitter said something.
Yeah, probably.
That's usually how it works.
Yep.
Cool. I'm just looking at the various packages for Star Citizen.
What's the most expensive one?
The most expensive game package that I'm seeing is $1,100 USD. That's not the most expensive like ship. This is a package of ships.
Oh.
But like it's the most expensive game pack, like starter pack.
Yeah.
Amusingly, I love that all their packages have like in stock, and it's like it's a digital asset for fuck's sake. But I think that's because they do limited editions. So
that makes sense.
Anyways, I was seeing if I could buy a freighter because then we could all theoretically play.
Yeah.
Although I'm pretty sure this game would make your guys' computer catch on fire.
Probably.
I mean, anything new will make our computer catch on fire.
Yeah.
It's like 6-7 years old at this point.
I'll just plug it into my guitar amp and use the power of my guitar
playing.
There you go. That would be cool. Using an actual guitar as a controller versus like Guitar Hero.
Yeah, well, so you can do that with we talked about this a long time ago. I was making one in university, but there is actually there's actually an official one that you could hook up a guitar to Rock Band.
Yeah.
Rocksmith. Yes, exactly. And also you can buy MIDI guitars that are literally, they just output MIDI signals. So they're literally the notes you're playing.
Yeah.
And those you can use for all kinds of cool stuff. Because they're like a piano, but a guitar, which is weird and fantastic. And technology is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So you had on here video game and audiobook pairing.
Yeah, so
Well, hang on before you do that.
Yeah.
We're at like 50 minutes. Should we save that for the next episode?
Yeah, let's save
Yeah,
it for the
sure.
next
Yeah,
one.
because I feel like you probably have more than 10 minutes to say on that.
I mean, yeah, and I'm sure that we'll ramble on about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, it won't be quick. And so yeah, we'll save that for the next one. You'll just have to come back.
Yep.
Watch that episode.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, I think that was it for the stuff that we had kind of wanted to chat about. I played Frosthaven.
Yeah,
We'll end with that because I don't have that much to say about it. I played Frosthaven the other day with my brother, and so I had played Gloomhaven. We finished Gloomhaven, and I really liked it. But for me, Gloomhaven was right at the edge of a board game that was complex enough and like enough setup and everything else that it was almost worth just playing D&D instead, or some TTRPG. Frosthaven, they simplified a bunch of stuff, and they didn't seem to lose any of the magic. It felt very similar, but it was a little easier to set up. Using the app makes things so much easier. So, not that I'm the first person. In fact, I'm probably the last person to say like Frosthaven rocks because it's. But yeah, it was great, and I'm glad that the new printing of Gloomhaven, which unfortunately I didn't know about at the time, or else I would have bought it, is using the Frosthaven rule set. So they've simplified it, which will make it better. But I was saying earlier, I was going to rant a little bit about the fact that like you still can't just go and buy Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
It's fucking annoying that you can't just like Celifir. I give up. Fuck it, we're done. Doesn't matter. Gloomhaven has been out for I don't even know. What is it? Like
I don't know.
It's got to be 7 years that it's been out.
It's been out for a while because I remember hearing about it even before like we got to know each other too.
Yeah,
so.
it came out 2017.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like
No, that seems too recent.
Well, the Steam game came out 2021, and I think that was the first time I really heard about it. Why is that open?
Yeah, maybe it was 2017. I feel like it's older than that. Although, in fairness, it also took, it was set 2017. It took a while after the Kickstarter to actually release it, so it probably actually came out in 2017. But, like, this game's not new, and the company is not new, and, like... just fucking print more copies. I should be able to just go and buy a damn copy of Gloomhaven.
Mm-hmm.
And I still can't. And it bugs the shit out of me.
Yeah, because like just the amount of times that I know we've sat around talking about like video games or board games or anything like that, and like you just pop onto Amazon or something or some online store and you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna get this now. I have a little bit of cash or whatever. You can't do that.
No. It does look like there might be a couple in stock somewhere, but also the other thing that annoys me about the Gloomhaven thing is, it's impossible to know what fucking printing some of these are because they keep changing shit. So like to be fair, what I really want is Frosthaven, not Gloomhaven, and you definitely can't get Frosthaven. But it bugs me because it's like, this is a successful company. Dude has made lots of money. There's nothing stopping them from just printing enough goddamn copies of their board games. I don't know. I guess maybe scarcity is working for them where it's like people want it because they can't have it. But like, fuck that. Just print them. Let me buy one.
Yep.
So tired of this crap.
And then people get them and resell them at high value.
Yeah, well, that's
people like you that want it.
I mean, there's one on Amazon right here for $350.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you see below it the storage organizer?
Yeah.
Those are actually kind of pretty.
They are. They're also very expensive.
Yes, there's that too.
Yeah. So I actually, that's something that I conceivably might make for a couple of games once I get the laser cutter up and running. But I don't know. I feel like that market's saturated. But anyways, no, Gloomhaven. Frosthaven was great. I really liked it. Going to be playing that with my brother and his wife. We're going to be slowly trucking through it.
Hell yeah.
Can recommend, but of course it doesn't matter because if you haven't played it, you can't buy it. So fuck me. But yeah, we're giving up on Middara.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pack it up and I'm gonna ship it over to my brother because his we don't really have the I do, I think, but I'm the only one out of our little crew that has sort of the temperament for the amount of rules in that game. It's so fucking finicky. Chad, you really hate it.
Fuck the ruse.
There's just so many annoying statuses and
Every
gotcha
little fucking
rules.
thing. Like for when we did the first encounter and we were like, oh cool, this is gonna be fun. But then it was like, oh wait, we got to go back to we got to do it again because rules this, rules that. And then when we redid it, it took twice as long because it's like, oh well, we better check this. Oh, we better check this, and it just sucks you. It sucked me out of it.
Yeah,
it just sucked me right out of the game.
It felt like we should be getting the hang of it much quicker, and there's so many fucking little niggly rules about it, and you would get used to it. Like if we played it enough, you'd get used to it. But we all kind of agreed that like rather than spending that time to figure it out, like let's just play games we like.
Yeah.
Let's try new games instead of like banging our heads against the wall. So I'm gonna pack it up. I'm gonna send it over to my brother. Take it over with me next time I'm there. And they have a gaming group that's much more resilient to really crunchy rules and everything else.
Audiobooks with dice.
Yeah, and I might play it with them too because like I don't mind the crunchy bullshit.
Yeah.
I can get past that pretty quickly. So I may end up playing it with them, but we're gonna send it elsewhere and then we'll get a recap of it once they.
Yeah.
We'll get some opinions once they've played through it a bit. But in the meantime, we're gonna pick something up. I think the problem for you, like Chad, you don't like the crunchiness of it. Sarah, I don't think you liked the crunchiness.
I don't mind the crunchy. There's just a lot of it.
Very crunchy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot to keep track of all at once.
Yeah.
And that's where I struggle.
And it pisses me off because it just kills the flow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like you have to play that game a shit ton before you get into the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't mind the crunchiness, but I actually hate the story.
Yeah.
Because it like every time we play it, it's like the voiceover, the narration stuff is like everybody's like doing these like sarcastic, chirpy, weird things. It's like a millennial wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it probably did.
Yep.
And I'm just like, that's not how any of us would act. This is bullshit. I don't want your stupid narrative.
Yeah.
So like none of us are super into it. So we're gonna give it away, see if somebody else loves it, and we're gonna pick up something else to play.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's no shortage of other games to try.
And I think that's the big thing is like none of us are really into it, and why bang your head against the wall when there's just so many great games that you can play. So.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, if you've got any games that you want to suggest, drop them down there in the comments below.
That you can buy.
Yes. Give this a like. Tell several of your friends. Subscribe. All that fun stuff. We're going to be here next week and the week after, and probably the week after and the week after.
At least.
At least. Yeah.
If I'm not lost in Baldur's Gate 3.
Ooh.
Well, then if you are, then the two of us can.
We'll have to buy it and find it. Thanks so much, everybody. We love you. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.